Six Chambers with the super chat says, realize this week that Reminisce on KD3 is a song about the past and present coming together and moving forward. Starts with the classic older beat, then moves forward to a modern beat at the end. Fire. The concepts that are on KD3, I think, are underappreciated, man. Like, conceptually, what those guys did coming together with their individual talents and just individual perspectives and meshing it together, it really translated on this one. And I think you called that one. You were like, their synergy is going to reach an apex on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that happens the more that you're around somebody when it starts clicking, Mike. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Pusha T says on if you know, you know, when we all clicking like Golden State. You know when he was saying that? He was saying that when he was watching like the way Durant and Steph and Clay and
Yep.
Draymond and whoever would move the ball with each other. It'd be like, look at the way these niggas is moving the ball and really not caring about who's scoring. When we all click in like Golden State and you and your team are the motorcade. Like, yeah.
You know, for the most part, you and I, the albums that we hold very high, even in recent times, have that synergy with the producer and the MC. You
Yes.
know, when you got Kanye and Pusha on Daytona, it's unmatched. You know, and I think that West Side's a outlier here because when you look at West Side, he brings everybody into his world. He's a curator. So it feels like he is the producer, even though he's not the one making the beats, quote unquote. But Pray for Paris has a culture to it. And he
It
has a
does.
lot to do with that. So
Yeah,
I kind of
absolutely.
count that in a similar vein. And then you got Alchemist with Alfredo, with Freddie, right? And then you got the KD
Man.
series. So yeah, and you got Magic, right? And then you got this. So what I'm seeing here is I think we're back to the producer MC combo where it used to be like a MC DJ combo, but I think that's where we're at. Those are the people making the best product. I'm glad we've moved away from people having a bunch of different producers, and that's no disrespect to Freddie's album because I think he did a really great job of doing that and showing versatility with that. But when you look at Cheat Code, you look at KD3, I think Soul Sold Separately is the only one in the top three currently, right? Where it had a array of producers.
You're right.
I think the producers would rather work with one MC other than just scattering their beats around. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that's how it originally kind of like cultivated itself into this fashion and into this form because everything was sectioned off and competitive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I can
Fighting for
remember.
placements or whatnot.
Well, let's not even go to the '80s. Let's go to something more a little bit more current that people can understand. Early '90s, Q-Tips with the Tribe Called Quest. Pete Rock is with Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Large Professor is with Main Source. Okay, they're
Premieres
all
with
going to
Gangstar. We can't forget that.
yeah, Primo and Gangstar, of course. They're all going to the same record stores and trying to one up each other and
Yeah.
trying to beat each other to the record stores to see who can pull the better samples or who's more knowledgeable, who can do what, or who can do it like this. You get what I'm saying? So it was kind of like together, but separate, but competitive, very much like the NBA. It's
Yeah.
like, no. Dominique and Michael Jordan go kick it after the game in Atlanta. But during the game, Mike going to get 49, Dominique going to go get 42, and it's competition. You get what I'm saying?
Well, it's interesting you put it like that, and you're right because at that point you're competitive within your own chamber. Shout out to RZA, right? But
Right.
when people start actually producing for others, and then you really start hearing levels like, okay, you're giving Jay Z your top notch beat where you might not be giving that same beat to this artist over here, or that level of a beat to this artist over here. So that's what kind of made things a little bit top heavy in the 2000s, where it was like, all of the top acts, they were getting the best producers, best material, but the other acts weren't getting that. I mean, I feel like even to a certain degree, as hot as the Neptunes were, do you feel like Clips got their best production on Lord Willing?
On Lord willing, no.
Yeah. Well, I know,
Absolutely
yeah, in
not.
'06, yes. But I'm talking about how they were on fire in 2002, and it felt like the Clips didn't really get the best of them because they were so scattered, making stuff for everybody else. And
I feel
it
like
probably wasn't
outside of,
intentional.
can I tell you the truth? Outside of grinding, no.
Yeah.
I feel like they gave him grinding and was like, here, run with that.
Because I think as much as I like When the Last Time, I don't think they would have, you know.
When you listen to When the Last Time now, Mike, you can tell that they didn't give him their best.
Well, see, this is the thing, though.
Think about it, because they're making shake your ass around that time, Mike.
I know. Yeah, they're making Give It To Me and stuff around that time. But see,
Right.
at that point, if Clips are your group, they're kind of taking, what you're giving them pretty much. But the other acts, they have a choice to decline or accept the record too. So it's a little different level of a challenge. But like you said, back to it, Q-Tip was making the album for Tribe. It's like, no, this is my production job, and they're getting my best because it wasn't spread around like that. Mad Max of the Super Chat says, Big Pimpin' is better than Empire State of Mind, worst NY anthem attempt, and J Short, J Cole, F and L, a universal classic. The Warm Up 2014, the LP, that's still chatting, still since it came out. J Short says DMX in 2001 killed Volume 3 out here. This is true. 007 with the Super Chat says, Busta, top 5 most versatile MC? Question mark. Is Busta the most is top 5 most versatile MC? I can see him on any type of track and any producer. He gives me Big Daddy Kane vibes regarding capability. What do you think about Busta's versatility as far as like amongst his peers? Who would you say are the most versatile MCs of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Well, Biggie's the most versatile MC of all time.
Yeah, Biggie never sounded awkward on anything.
So after that, it would be Pac for me.
Biggie.
And I only say this because it's like
Jigga Man too.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. Because I think after this KD run, we have to consider Nas in that conversation.
Okay.
Because you got to think about versatility. It's like, oh, well, this is a guy that when he was 17 could say that he went to hell for snuffing Jesus. And that's the 17-year-old him. But the 50-year-old or almost 50-year-old him is still saying, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like
not to interrupt you, but I want to add on to that. Name a producer that he hasn't rhymed over beats. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I mean. When you're talking about versatility. Well,
yeah.
Well, here's the thing about it, and this is what I'm saying. Well, if you were to go name the greatest producers of all time, name the one that hadn't worked with Nas.
Exactly.
Because DJ Paul's the only person I can think of that doesn't have a Nas record.
That could happen right now, I'm sure, And after
we
what
don't
I'm
know
hearing
that for certain, and we don't know that hasn't happened because, Nas is very Prince-like with his vault.
Yeah.
Right.
And after listening to KD3, I can imagine it could happen. But again, I'm not going to give points for something that hasn't happened. But if that's how far you got to dig, he's rhymed over
DJ Paul and
everybody.
DJ Quick are the only people I can think of that he hasn't rhymed over their beats. So he would be in that conversation just off the strength of that.
Rick Rubin?
Huh?
I haven't heard him on Rick Rubin, but I've heard him on Marley Marl. Marley Marl did On the Real.
Yeah, I know.
And Marley Marl was supposed to produce the whole It Was Written album, I heard.
I've heard rumors of that. I don't know how that was going to go, but he checks a lot of boxes in terms of that. So I would go Biggie, Tupac, Nas, like definitely. After that, I think, because here's the thing, like what Nas is doing right now is kind of like separating himself from everybody. It's like, no, he's rhyming over today's younger production. It's like, we don't know how Biggie and Pac would have aged in this.
Yeah.
And the reason I put Biggie ahead of Pac in that is because, well, it did take Pac some time to catch his steam and catch his wind a little bit. It's like Pac's first album is okay. Pac's second album is really good. Pac's third album, it's like, okay, this nigga's on fire. You feel what I'm saying? Big came out on fire.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And Big came out able to do what Pac was doing when Pac started to peak. But Pac is the one that gave him the formula, too. So it's like, that's why that's my 1 and 2, because Biggie is agile because Pac told him to be agile. You know what I'm saying? Like, Biggie will tell you, like, Pac used to tell him, it's like, you got to make song for the beat right.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
throw Jay in there too. But number 5,
I'm
I don't
cool with
know.
Jay being in there too.
I gotta
Yeah,
think about 5. I don't know if it's Busta Rhymes, but what do you think about the notion that Method Man might be more versatile than Busta Rhymes?
he is.
I think
Because
so
he can
too.
do Bring the Pain and I'll Be There for You. And so, how
And he
about
could
this?
get on the Limp Bizkit record.
Well, no, how
Yeah.
about this? As much as I love the Janet record and the Mariah record, those records aren't fucking with I'll Be There for You.
No, no. But what do
And
you
as
think
much as,
about the
hold on, and
D'Angelo
as much as
record?
I love Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See, Mike,
It's not fucking with Bring the Pain. No.
it's not fucking with Bring the
No,
Pain.
it's
And
not.
that's why Meth is cool at number 5 with
And then
me.
you got
And
How High. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got How High, you got the Limp Bizkit shit. He can go jump on a Mobb Deep album like Hell on Earth. He can go jump on a Limp Bizkit record. He can go do a whole album with Redman and Method
you
Man.
can
He
jump
can
on a
go
Mary
jump on
J.
all the
Blige
Wu
record.
projects, Mike. I told you the Purple Tape and Liquid Swords aren't the same without Method Man.
Yeah.
He's very integral in their flawless status as classic albums. Like, think about this. What is Liquid Swords without shadowboxing and living in the world today?
You're right. And you know what? A lot of people talk about Busta Rhymes in a versus and who he needs to go up against. And
Method Man.
I know Method Man's already done the Red Man one, but that's the matchup, really. That is the matchup we need. And maybe we need to put that in the atmosphere so it can happen. But
So hold
Method
on.
Man and Busta is the matchup that Busta needs.
But most versatile MCs, we're going Big Pac, J Nas, Meth, right?
Off the top of my head, yes.
Yeah, we would have to dig and do a little bit more thinking, and I'm cool with that 5.
I'm cool with that 5 too. Let me know who y'all think needs to break into that 5. 36 Shaver says the Heart Part 5 was added to Mr. Morale's track list. Is that an attempt to push that album Grammy nomination since the song is nominated so much?
You want to know what that is?
Wow.
That's the reverse engineering. How about this?
Wow.
You know what that is?
Wow.
That's the equivalent of taking Braveheart Party off of Stillmatic
I'm
because
disappointed.
they knew. You feel what I'm saying? It's the reverse engineering of it. It's like, oh no, we got to add that on because this album isn't strong. It's like, oh, we got to take that off because this album is so superior if we take it off. It's the same thing. It's just reverse engineered.
You know what's so disappointing about that is the fact that, again, and I want to be balanced here, I gave amazing props to the intelligence that it took and the ear that it took for them to put the live version of I onto Pimple Butterfly. That changed the trajectory of that whole thing because the regular version, not that strong, but the live version and to have the wherewithal to actually go and put a live version on the album to make it better, that takes a lot of ear. But the problem here is you guys thought that the album was strong enough without it and just put that out there. And now you're hearing what people are saying. And now you want to go back there and reconstruct this and say, oh no, we're going to add this on. Now, if you would have added that initially, I would have given props to that. But I don't like that. I don't like adding after the fact, just like I don't like when the Source went back and gave albums 5 mics after the fact. No, stand on what you did.
No,
Just
Mike,
say you
I'm
were
trying to tell
wrong,
you.
and that's fine.
Okay, look, Mike. I've been trying to be nice about this. I've heard from multiple people now within this industry that he really thought that he was about to shift the culture with this album, and people tried to tell him that this wasn't that, and his ego, Mike, got in the way. And he rocked with it thinking he was about to shift the whole narrative and the whole culture of rap because he thought he had it like that, Mike. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I've heard that from Mike. I've heard that from 3 different places now. And it's the same story about how, no, Coop, niggas tried to tell him that shit wasn't hot. And his ego is so large and so massive, even though he tries to play this humble role, Mike, that he said no and wanted to put it out thinking it was really going to shift the wave of how things were done. And it came out and it was some mid. And now he's talking about adding tracks on, going to do another album because his ego got in the way of the quality of the music and it flopped musically. Maybe not credential wise, but musically flopped. It's not good. He knows it. He thought he was doing something special.
I think everyone can agree that if we're talking about all of his albums, right, and let's not even count Overly Dedicated. Let's just say Section 80 to now. I think everybody would have this album at the bottom, right? And let me know if I'm wrong here. Let me know if I'm
It's
off
not
base.
even a question.
Yeah, because I think we all debate about the number 1 and 2 spot. Maybe debate about 3 as well. But I think most people feel like Section 80 was better than this one, right? And maybe from a technical aspect,
How
maybe
about
not
this?
so much because the writing is so incredible. That's the weird part about this album. The writing is stellar.
That's where he thought he was special. That's what I'm saying. He thought he was about to change things and put the ball in his court. And it's like, no, this is hip hop. You don't put the ball in your court. You put the ball in hip hop's court.
That's true. BCM with the super chat says, Rakim smacked Jay on the Watcher. I'm with that. Jay Short says, Mike, Jay knows better than to do a full length face. Face got too much depth in his voice and would dominate. We'd start having uncomfortable conversations. Jay would want us to have that about that Jay would want us to have about his rank. Yeah, we would have uncomfortable conversations that Jay wouldn't want us to have about his ranking. CJ Kidd says, that's what I'm saying, Mike. Might need to rethink that Volume 2 versus Blueprint 2 answer. I don't know, man. It's weird because Volume 2, he's rapping really relaxed, and he's clearly rapping better on the Blueprint 2, but those songs are kind of undeniable on Volume 2. But you've also said that songs on Volume 2 haven't aged well, and I can't really gripe with you on that.
I mean, outside of a week ago, what song on there feels timeless to you?
A week ago is actually my favorite song on there.
It's the best song on there.
I love It's Alright.
Really?
I do. I love that record.
That's like me with the Mariah record and Busta record and the Flip Mode record.
Really? I spent more money than Latrell.
It's just not that the beat, Mike. It's the beat.
Dame Dash did the beat too. Man with the super chat said,
no disrespect.
Man with the super chat says, thoughts on Just Ice, super underrated legend in my opinion. I like Just Ice. I think he's probably the most underrated MC of the 80s.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Lex Diesel says, if you take Impact out of the equation, is Illmatic still Nas' best album? In my opinion, it is. It's one of the best albums ever.
Well, here's the thing about Illmatic. Like, people don't understand this, and this is why production matters so much.
Oh, Jay Short says something. Hold that thought. He says Snoop is the most versatile MC ever. Okay, cool with that.
Snoop is the person that I thought of, but here... Okay, so I'm going to say this
respectfully. If you want to put Snoop in Meth's place, I'm fine with that, but I don't know.
You can, but here's the thing with that is it's like, when the last time Snoop really made some street bangers, Mike, where you really remember them? Because to be honest with you, the last I guess shit that the streets really banged the Snoop that was Snoop's record was probably Bitch Please Mike or Pimp Slap when he dissed Suge.
I thought you were gonna say something like Vato or something.
But that's what I'm saying. Did the streets really play that like that? I'm just asking questions.
I mean, but Snoop's made sensual seduction and stuff like that too.
No, I love me some Vato. Be real. No, I love Vato. That's what I'm saying. No, I like that stuff. How is it really tracking in the streets though? And this is what I mean by tracking in the streets. Oh, I keep hearing everybody in the streets playing fun. And I keep hearing niggas texting me from other parts of the country and say, yo, they playing fun out here.
Well, somebody could say that about Method Man, right?
What?
Somebody could say that about Method Man too. Make the argument of Method Man being more versatile than Snoop.
No, I can't give you a clear-cut argument. I'm cool with putting Snoop in instead of Meth.
Yeah.
He made Doggy Style.
He did.
He made Doggy Style.
Well, you were about to say something about Illmatic.
Doggy Style.
You were about to say something about Illmatic. What were you about to say?
Well, 4 of the 20 greatest hip-hop producers of all time are on Illmatic. That's why Illmatic sounds like Illmatic.
And they were coming off some of the best work that they ever made as producers in their respective groups.
Actually, respectively, if you kind of looked at it, you could be looked at that they just all got finished working on their most well-rounded projects production-wise.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not only, it's 4 of the 20 greatest producers ever, but it's at the right time.
Yeah.
Right.
All
lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
People, this is what I mean, is here's how you need to look at Illmatic. The same way you look at It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
Yeah, straight out.
They're so one of one. Think about this: when Public Enemy made It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, Nobody expected them to do that again.
It was louder than a bomb.
We knew that it couldn't be done again, and nobody asked them to.
But you know what they kept doing though? They kept making these groundbreaking individual singles. And I think that when we were doing our verses,
Take It in Blood.
I feel you. I'm talking about like with Public Enemy. I ain't saying Nas didn't do it, but what I noticed when we were doing our verses and I had Public Enemy is they had songs that artists normally make once, maybe twice in their career. They got 10 of them, man. Like they got records that, I mean, if you made Rebel Without a Pause, you're cool. That's like a top billing or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just kept doing it. They kept doing it.
And I understand that, but that's what I mean. As far as like the craft of MCing goes, Nas did the same thing, but nobody but nobody knocked Public Enemy. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like nobody's like, oh, well, this ain't It Takes a Nation of Millions.
Well, I mean, you didn't have time to say that with Fight the Power out there and Welcome to the Terror Dome. So what can you say?
Okay, so Mike, respectively, can I introduce you to this 95 feature run that included stuff like Fast Life, Verbal Intercourse,
I'm not disagreeing
Eye for an Eye, More Money, More Murder, More Homicide, followed up with It Was Written, which has stuff like The Message, I Gave You Power, Take It in Blood, The Setup, Shootouts, Silent Murder. You get what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
So the same thing Public Enemy was doing for the socially conscious, like powerful black song, Nas was doing for the craft of lyricism, except for when Nas was doing it, people was like, why won't you make Illmatic? Nobody said that when niggas was making them other PE records that wasn't on It Takes a Nation.
It's hard.
Nobody said shit. Nobody said shit about Niggas for Life not having any of the social commentary that Straight Outta Compton had.
Well, now that's fair. But, you know, in Public Enemy,
Straight Outta Compton had some social commentary to express yourself, Mike.
Yeah, no, you're right. NWA is a whole different group on the second album.
Whole different group. Nobody said a word. They're like, man, this shit is great. You hear these beats?
Yeah. CJ Kidd with the super chat says, did Nas work with Madlib, Warren G, Prince Paul, or Ninth Wonder officially? Are there any Nas Madlib records out there?
Be fascinating.
I would like to hear Nas with Ninth Wonder. It's hard for me to believe that Nas hasn't worked with Ninth Wonder.
Me too. I mean, where do you have Madlib, Mike? Maybe like...
Madlib's an interesting character, man, because he is he's kind of Alchemist-ish without a Keep It Thorough and, you know, in those records. I think he's a
So where would that put him?
He's a trailblazer. He's a trailblazer in the underground scene. And that's always it's kind of weird to kind of try to put somebody who's a trailblazer in the underground scene, sort of like Doom, in with all of the other guys.
How underground is he for the people that he worked with? He's worked with Freddie. He's worked with Black Star. Like how underground is he really at this point? He's not really underground to me anymore. He's a producer. And
No More Parties in LA is crazy.
No, we need to strip that underground tag off and just put it like straight up and down. It's like, do this nigga make better beats than like Alchemist, Hit Boy, Metro? Do we?
I could say yes. I mean...
You think so?
I mean, listen, I think that the highlight...
So that would make him top 10 consideration, wouldn't it?
In my opinion, on the Pablo album, I think No More Parties in LA is probably the highlight.
That's not saying a lot.
I like that album. That album's dope.
I like how you say, I like that album. That album is dope.
That album is dope.
Listen to what I'm about to say. Oh, yeah, it's dope. What is that album in relationship to The College Dropout, Late Registration, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Graduation? Is it dope to you now?
It's last.
Right. And so if that's the best beat, hold on, if that's the best beat, tell me where that beat falls on that other classic gay shit, not on no Pablo album.
Okay, I'll give you that. I think No More Parties in LA is definitely greatest hits material. And I think that,
greatest hits?
Kanye would have
Madlib's greatest hits? Yes, Kanye's greatest hits.
Ye would have to have a double disc of greatest hits. But if that song was, let's just say that song's on College Dropout.
You think that's one of Ye's 20 best records?
Oh man, I don't know.
And you can't, if it's not one of Ye's 20 best records, that's like the whole Teddy Riley with the Michael Jackson bad thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I feel what
no
you're
more
saying.
parties in LA. It's like, oh, if that's your hot shit that you got with Ye, understand that your hot shit with Ye isn't like registering, like on that all-time level, like his off-the-wall Thriller shit.
This is what I'll say. If that song is on the College Dropout, it stands out. If that song is on Late Registration, it stands out.
But it stands out in relationship to what, Mike? It's not it's not one of the 5 best beats on. It's not even one of the 7 best beats on either one of those albums, Mike. On either one of those albums, it's not even a top 7 beat in my opinion.
No More Parties in LA is kind of crazy, Coop. I don't know. Deontay Smith.
You think it's better than crack music? Watch this. Is it better than crack music?
I think so.
Now you're bugging. All right.
I think so, and I love crack music.
We out. No. I'm done. I'm gonna let you have it. You win. I don't like arguing with somebody that says if I'm arguing with somebody that's saying that, I don't feel like arguing anymore.
Deontay Smith with the super chat says 2022 is supposed to be the year Kendrick was smoking on our top 5. LOL. Oh, the arrogance. Yeah, it was supposed to be that year, huh? Eric Terrell says Anita Baker versus Sade, 20 songs. Who you got? I got Sade because Anita Baker has me blocked on Twitter. I don't know why. Can y'all ask Anita Baker to unblock according to hip hop? I don't know what we did to Anita Baker. I love Anita Baker.
We still unblocked? I sent her a tweet and asked her to unblock us. I don't know what we did. I told her I sent her a hashtag and said I apologize.
I apologize. I see what you did there. Let me look up Anita Baker right now. Let me see if we live. Baker. Yeah. I think we're still blocked, man.
We're still blocked?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm gonna hit her up. I don't think I'm personally blocked. Maybe I can forge a relationship. You want to know
Let's see
Mike?
What's going on, man?
I was thinking about. Hold on, Station Head, Mike. I may pull up tonight. Would you think I should pull up tonight, Mike, on Station Head? I was thinking about pulling up tonight.
I think so. Yeah, Anita Baker still got us blocked.
I think I'm gonna pull up with like a little Purple Tape Friday, like play some real hip hop shit, about 20 songs deep worth, talk a little shit, and be out. But you know, Mike, I was thinking about doing this other show. It's called Dedication to My Exes, where I'm gonna be real ratchet and play love song and talk about all my exes. And we can fit some Anita Baker in there. Maybe we just need to give Anita Baker some love, some streams, and I'll talk some shit. It's Dedication to My Exes. Probably gonna be on a Sunday night. Gonna talk some shit about my exes. All of you. None of you are safe. And
listen, man. Anita Baker, if you or your people are listening, whatever you took out of context, I definitely apologize for. I love you. My mother loves you. My wife loves you. We love you.
My family loves you. Yeah. I have you on vinyl. Your vinyl record is sitting right here.
I got your vinyl
sitting right here on vinyl. Right, Rapture is sitting right here.
Yeah, I got Rapture right here too.
My family is from Youngstown, Ohio on one side. You're from the D. We're almost cousins.
Let me know whatever our Twitter page did to you, Anita Baker. We'll make a public apology. But yeah. LP with the super chat says, Hank Shockley, one of the most underrated ever. Definitely. Shout out to Hank Shockley, man. That Public Enemy production, shit was crazy. Chaotic, and they made it all make sense. You know, I think De La Soul, what Prince Paul did was kind of a derivative of that chaotic production style, but they did it in more of a laid-back way, which was interesting. 36 Chambers says, y'all may not like Doom like that, but his Madlib beats are incredible and so versatile. If Madlib isn't top 10, he's top 15 for sure, in my opinion. Oh, I'm a Doom fan. Maybe not a super Doom fan, but, you know, I fuck with Doom.
You want to know what? I told you what, Mike. This, hold on. Let's wrap up with this Buster. Maybe we can have a quick producer conversation.
Yeah. So, as far as this Buster, what were some of your highlights, and what do you want to rate this thing? And should we be rating EPs?
I don't think we should rate the EP. Because it's 5 songs. And it's like, and here's what I mean by 7 songs and why I'm okay with Daytona. And this is where people are going to be okay with Daytona too. You understand Paid in Full is only 7 songs of rock and rap, and you're okay with that.
It really is.
7
I
songs
guess people
of rock
wanted
and rap.
Kanye to throw in 2 or 3 interludes.
And that's the barometer. Right. Paid in Full's the barometer. So you can do 7 songs and make a classic album as an MC. Because Paid in Full is the evidence, okay? So we have early evidence of it. So don't tell me that 7 rap songs is too short. But 5 is.